If I die, take care of Immanuel for me. Baba Njoro amenichapa sana kwa kichwa na mbavu, which translates to, Njoro's father has injured me on the head and ribs. These were the heart-wrenching words that Lucy Njambi wrote to her aunt weeks before her demise, not knowing that her death was lurking. Lucy Njambi was a terrified woman walking in the shadows of death and silently seeking help, owing to her chaotic marriage. She was a beautiful woman who at the time of her death in 2018 was only aged 24 years. Njambi's Facebook page, which went by the name Apple Girl, hid the pain and trauma she was undergoing in marriage, since the pictures she posted of herself and her son Immanuel were nothing short of glamour. Lucy was brought up by her grandmother, Mary Njambi, after the death of her mother in 2004. Her mother was a single parent and she died when Lucy was only 10. According to the grandmother, Mary Nyagiko conceived Lucy while still living with her, and this prompted the grandmother to cater for all the maternity needs. As the Gikuyu customs dictate, Lucy was named after the grandmother. Right then, she became the grandmother's responsibility. Unfortunately, in 2004, Lucy's mother died of meningitis and left her under the care of the grandmother. The grandmother saw Lucy through primary school at Kahogoine, where she sat for her KCPE exams, and later at Ngenda Secondary School, where she attained a C+ in her KCSE exams in 2011. She was a good student who loved studying. After her secondary education, Lucy enrolled at St. Gabriel Catholic College in Gatundu, where she got her certificate in International Computer Driving License, which is also known as ICDL, and she later undertook a diploma course in cosmetology. Later, she was employed at a Korean restaurant in Nairobi's Hurlingham, and it is while working there she started dating one Samuel Ndungu, who would later marry her. Now, in 2012, Lucy's uncle, a taxi operator in Roysambu, was mysteriously killed and his body dumped near Thika's Blue Post Hotel. Samuel and Lucy's uncle were childhood friends and they had grown up together and schooled together as well. Nonetheless, the uncle was against Lucy and Samuel's relationship. So, could there be a possibility that Samuel might have killed the uncle to pave way for his marriage to Lucy? The answer to this question remains a mystery. Shortly after the uncle's death, Lucy called her grandmother with the news that she had quit her job and was now married. According to the family, she seemed to be doing well in her new marriage. Things were going well for the couple. Lucy even featured in Ndungu's 2013 campaigns as he was running for the Rirota ward seat. And in 2014, they were blessed immensely with the birth of their son, and this was after the win of Ndongo for the Rirota ward seat. But as in every marriage, conflict was inevitable. However, while the two were not in good terms, Lucy would run from her matrimonial home to her grandmother's home, and her husband would get her. According to Lucy's grandmother, there were moments when they would wake up to find Samuel's car parked at the gate at 6 a.m. and even other times at 5 a.m. Well, he had gone to get her. Also, Nungo is alleged to have started spying on his wife at the village and at her workplace in Roysambu. In 2017, Lucy confessed to some relatives and friends that her life was in danger. However, she would be lured back to her matrimonial home with irresistible promises by her husband. And it is at that time that Ndongo also paid dowry in an effort to win her back. A highlight of the toxicity that engulfed Lucy's marriage was on the day of her dowry ceremony. On the material day, Samuel asked Lucy not to leave the house until he had arrived for the dowry ceremony. He also warned her against speaking to the friends he would show up with. And Lucy wondered why she was being forbidden from interacting with the people who would be part of her life owing to their relationship with her husband. Surprisingly, a week after the ceremony, Lucy left her matrimonial home again and put up with her aunties before going back to her grandmother's home. She spent the 2017 December holidays and Christmas there, and in January 2018, she rented a house in Dendegwa. According to the aunt, Lucy was determined to move on as she had bought new equipment to set up a new salon. She even named it Amazing Beauty Salon. She kept saying that she was determined to refund all the money that Ndongo had spent on her. Jealous that the estranged wife was seeing another man, Ndongo also moved to Dendegwa on December 28, 2017 to spy on her and rented an apartment where he would closely monitor Njambi's affair. This was just 1 week after Njambi had rented her apartment within the said locality. Later, Samuel Ndongo would plot Lucy's murder at Homeland Inn. CCTV footage showed Ndongo and his co-accused Wilson Mwangi and one Joyce Mungai in a meeting at the restaurant just 2 days before the plan. Before this meeting, Samuel Ndongo and Joyce Mungai had met occasionally and shared a drink at Kehunguro petrol station and Kamaki's restaurant. Phone records also revealed that between January 1st, 2018 and January 26th, 2018, Ndongo was in constant communication with other suspects. Further investigations revealed a financial transaction between the politician and a lab technician for the purchase of sulphuric acid, which would later be poured on Njambi's body. This happened on January 22nd, 2018 at 11 a.m. when a lab technician at Potter's house in Runda, going by the name Benjamin Boro, received a call from Joyce inquiring about sulphuric acid. He directed her to Science Lab along Accra Road and later called Ndongo to confirm that he had facilitated the purchase of the acid. On January 23rd, 2018, a day before the attack, Ndongo sent Benjamin Boro 1,500 shillings via M-Pesa. The next day, Ndongo and Joyce met again with the co-accused Wilson Mwangi and with one Jugush at Homeland Inn shortly before Njambi was attacked. Wednesday, January 24th, 2018, the day of the heinous crime, began on a normal note for Lucy Njambi. Later, she received a call from her estranged husband, Samuel Ndongo, who informed her that he would be passing by her new home at Ndegwa on Kiambu Road later in the evening. Earlier, Ndongo had hired a motor vehicle by the registration number KBH 945N from a businessman, Mark Mudhimbogo, for 3,000 shillings at 7:40 p.m., and this was the vehicle to be used by the killers. Shortly after, Ndongo, Joyce, Wilson Mwangi and one Jugush drove to Quickmart supermarket where the politician bought a packed meal and proceeded to Njambi's apartment. Police suspected the food must have been laced with a sedative. Ndongo showed up at 8 p.m. at Njambi's apartment to allegedly give her some money for the upkeep of their 4-year-old son. She had been living in the rented apartment for a month after moving out of her husband's house in Lavington. Njambi did not let him inside the house, according to the house help. Instead, the two sat inside Ndongo's car at the parking lot. The property's caretaker said that the couple even had their dinner at the parking lot. Everything between them was running smoothly until two men pounced on them in what witnesses say appeared to be an abduction. They drove to Sassini Coffee Estate at Kamiti Corner, where they allegedly undressed, raped and beat her up and then poured sulphuric acid on her. They then abandoned her for the dead. They later dumped the vehicle at Kamiti Corner. Fortunately, Njambi did not die at the scene of crime. She managed to crawl from the farm to the roadside where she sought for help. A good Samaritan answered her cry for help and rushed her to Kiambu Level 4 hospital. Njambi had suffered 75% burns from what doctors suspected to be acid corrosion. The medical report also showed that the victim had been strangled because her neck and hands had bruises, an indication that she had struggled in self-defense. She was later referred to Kenyatta National Hospital, where she spoke to police officers about the attack. Unfortunately, she died at Kenyatta National Hospital on Friday, January 25, 2018. On the other hand, Ndongo and his accomplices were arrested and arraigned in court for the murder of Lucy Njambi. Since then, the case has been running until on Friday, April 5, 2024, when Justice Joel Ngugi found Samuel Ndongo, his girlfriend Joyce Njambi, and one Wilson Mungai guilty of Lucy Njambi's murder. The evidence presented before the Kiambu High Court rightly implicated the three in the murder. Justice Ngugi found that marital discourse had driven Samuel Ndongo to orchestrate the crime. The compelling evidence provided by the prosecution highlighted the excessively jealous nature of Ndongo, who had a history of assaulting Njambi and displaying aggression towards perceived romantic rivals. The involvement of Joyce Njambi in purchasing sulphuric acid used in the attack, and the presence of Wilson Mwangi near the crime scene, as confirmed through mobile phone data records, solidified the case. The sentence hearing is scheduled for April 12, 2024. Finally, the complex puzzle of love, matrimony, and estrangement between the former MCAs, that is Samuel Ndongo, and his wife has finally been resolved. Her life will never be restored, but with justice served, her family will finally find closure. Thank you for taking time to listen to this case, and kindly stay tuned for another one coming up soon. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.